Our race, since we got into this race in January, hasn't changed one bit for us. It's been about fighting for workers, bringing our district together, Republicans, Independents, and Democrats around a common theme that working people just aren't making it these days. That's what this race is about. Obviously, we have a lot of attention on our race because of the allegations against my opponent, but we're steadfast and strong in our message of what we're fighting for. And we're not going to let the narrative be changed by my opponent's misdeeds.
So it's a great pleasure to have you on, Brian. Really appreciate it. Appreciate your getting in the race and running. So I'm going to put my chairman hat on and talk to you, chairman and candidate, to sort of digest a little bit what you just said.
You pay a lot of money for this advice. Listen up.
That they don't. Vaughn asked, I think, a very top-line question about the dynamics of a race across the state that is very, very still a little bit unsettled because of the way this story is coming out. Your campaign clearly has been focused, as you noted, from January on how you're going to win this race. But there's some real opportunities here. Particularly in your state, to really kind of change up the game. What kind of on-the-ground efforts have you been making, and are you considering, not to give away any of your state secrets in your planning, but in terms of reaching out to various other parties now who would otherwise, kind of be in Miller's camp just because, but now be maybe a little bit more at play for a whole host of reasons because they don't want to be associated with the campaign. You don't want them to stay home necessarily because they can vote for you, potentially. You've got two senators in the state now, Bernie Sanders and, Mr. Moreno's former father-in-law, Senator Moreno. Also up there as possible endorsers. How do you see it? How do you see going after the vote in the face of what right now is sort of a jump ball race?
Yeah, well, I'm the type of person I want to keep the door open for anybody who wants to jump on a team and fight for working families. Again, that's what we sought to do. And as a 19-year member of Iron Workers Local 17, I've had to work with iron workers who have voted Republican, Independent, Democrat, the far reaches of the Republican Party, far reaches of the Democratic Party. And we got to put sometimes our politics aside to get the job done. And right now, working families in this district are having a hard time because of the policies Max Miller supports. And that's what got us in this race. And, I've said it since day one. I will stand with anybody who's going to fight for workers because workers need it. And I will stand up to anybody, whether it's my own party if I have to make sure workers are represented in Congress. Now, I do agree with the two senators from Ohio that Max Miller is unfit for office. Not just in his personal life, but the actions that he's taken in Congress. I mean, he's had his words stricken from the record from outrageous outbursts. And, people are ready to set aside political differences. I think we've shown that in this race. And make no mistake, these allegations aren't new. They only came to light because we had already overtaken them in the polls. We have already built a campaign that is fierce and focused on our message of fighting for workers. And this district really, Ohio in general, but this district especially, is made up of hardworking people, and they always vote for the candidate who's going to most represent workers.
As a chairman likes to say, I want to put two things on the table for you, sir. This first is Cook Political Report. Headline, Ohio Representative Max Miller's district moves from likely Republicans to toss-up. Quote, the serious nature of the allegations make it much more difficult for Miller to hold his Northeast Ohio seat, which typically favors Republicans, but is a light enough shade of red to be competitive in a Democratic wave year. And then there's this from the New York Times, and it says that you, Mr. Poindexter, is not a fan of what he described in the stump speech as a vote for me because he sucks strategy, a common messaging tactic among Democrats in the Trump era. And this was interesting, I think, probably to everyone here and also folks watching, because there has been a question over the last 10 years for Democrats is what is the affirmative message for Democrats that has nothing to do with Donald Trump? And so for you today, what is the affirmative message to vote for you that has nothing to do with Max Miller or these allegations?
Yeah, Max Miller's record is well documented, and I don't want to do what candidates normally do is, hey, vote for me because he's so terrible, because then it's not about what we're fighting for. And I think that's a mistake that Democrats have made. I think Republicans, any politician falls for that because it's the low-hanging fruit, right? I want to show people what I'm fighting for, and I'm fighting for things that I actually live. Wages have stagnated, costs are up, healthcare is becoming less and less affordable. Retirement security is more and more out of reach. Those are nonpartisan issues. That's everybody who works for a living works for those things. And that's what I fought for as 19 years as a union iron worker. I fought for those things. As a city councilman, I tried to make sure that our employees in the city, at 9 years on Brook Park City Council, I fought for those things for our employees in the city and made sure that we were taking care of our residents and our people in our district. And I want to bring that level of representation to the federal office. It's something that has been missing in politics for too long, and I want to bring that local feel back to the federal government.
Mr. Poindexter, you are in a red district. I believe it was a plus 15 for Max Miller back in 2024, but he won it by about 11 in 2022. This district, I'm sure that you have these dynamics in your own family, your own neighborhood, your friends, folks that have bypassed sexual harassment and assault allegations made against President Trump, candidate Trump in the past. But when you're engaging with folks in the community about the allegations when it comes to Max Miller, we've been having serious reckoning, I think, culturally as a country and a society with sexual harassment claims. How do you answer friends, even family members of yours that are supportive of Donald Trump and the MAGA agenda about ethics and about the serious nature of the allegations when they bring it up to you, knowing that you want to talk about policy, but understanding the serious nature of these specific allegations against the specific Republican you are running against?
People I talk to in the district and in my family and, across this district in this race, they're noticing a trend. And the trend is that the two-tier justice system is very much on display. You have the wealthy and well-connected can be alleged to have committed these atrocities, and it's life goes on as usual. We see it not only in this case, but we also see it in the Epstein files, and these types of things continuously put a microscope under us as society and what we're willing to accept from our leaders. And I think voters in Ohio 7, because of my background, because of being a father, because of being a union iron worker, are going to stand with me November 3rd because they want real change in Washington.